I wanted to get into Ilhan Omar. She's the representative out of the 5th District of Minnesota. She's under fire again for some comments that she made on Friday in Washington, D.C. at a town hall.
It almost as if every single time we say something, regardless of what it is we say, that is supposed to be about foreign policy, our engagement, our advocacy about ending oppression, or the freeing of every human life and wanting dignity, we get to be labeled in something, and that ends the discussion because we end up defending that and nobody ever gets to have the broader debate of what is happening with Palestine. I want to talk about the political influence in this country that says it is okay for people to push for allegiance to a foreign country.
Now read that into context of something else she tweeted a couple weeks back. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. So it seems here that she's talking about getting money out of politics. This can be used or looked at as something that's anti-Semitic. Now for me, I've done documentaries on gun violence, cash bail, and our approach is to get money out of politics. Back in February, Omar was on the Daily Show.
There was a tweet that you had a while ago criticizing Israel and what, how they're handling the crisis in Palestine.
With that tweet, what I finally realized is the realization that I hope that people come to when we're having a conversation about white privilege.
Right.
People would be like, I grew up in a poor neighborhood. I can't be privileged.
Right.
Can you stop saying that? I haven't benefited from my whiteness. And it's like, no, we're talking about systematic. That happened for me. I was like, do not call me that. That's not what I was doing.
Right.
And it was like, oh, I see what you're saying now. What is important in this conversation is that we separate the land, the people, and administrations.
Now then, how do you negotiate that with anti-Semitism? If you give as much thoughtfulness to your approach as you do to the point that you're trying to get across, then I think we would maybe have less of this misunderstanding. What I got from it is that she understood that there's a lot she didn't know about the history of anti-Semitism. If your intention is to show how the money that's coming from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee is influencing election, you understand that some things can be taken out of context or just misunderstood. Stop tweeting. Write an op-ed piece. Just because it's very easy to be misunderstood when you only have 150 characters or 250 characters. Because what you're saying, I think, is valid, but now it's all lost. It's important to understand the history so you can know how to approach it, because your approach matters. They can only nail you to the cross if you give them nails. So you have to be intentional about your approach as well as the point. Just so the news is more about AIPAC's influence in our legislation versus you being anti-Semitic, which we all know isn't true. But who's listening to it? Money, it's influencing legislation. That happens in the gun industry, in the pharmaceutical industry. Now, some people you're not going to be able to satisfy, and they're going to always use your words, especially if they can use it politically to go against you. That's a part of the game. We should do more with knowing the history and understanding what these things meant at that time and how this stuff still resonates with Jewish people. And also the fact that there are assholes that use that hurt and manipulate it for their own benefit. So stop tweeting, write an op-ed, so we can move forward. Because what you're saying is right, but if no one hears it and we're clouded by all this BS, then it becomes about something else.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.